I want to welcome everybody here. We've got a large crowd tonight. We'll start off like we normally do with our prayer request list. Need to remember Mr. Scotty Yeaman, a fellow board member. Ms. Jennifer Maynard, her mother, is recovering from a fall. Sean Fry is having a medical procedure done. Miss Olivia Bush, her father-in-law, passed away. Emerson Stockton had surgery. We need to remember the Tommy Ray family, one of the bus drivers here, has passed away. Need to remember Tina Gattenbein's dad had surgery. Remember Miss Wendlyn Kittrell and her family, her aunt passed away. And of course all the sicknesses within the school system in the county. We need to continue to remember those children and administrator, whoever's sick. There's a lot of sickness out there. Are there any other prayer requests?
My great aunt broke her hip on Sunday. Esteline. She's 97.
Any others? If not, we'll go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you just thanking you for another day of life you've granted us. Father, thanking you for every blessing you give us. We're truly blessed here in this community, and we just want to pray that you'll continue to bless us, continue to be with us each day of our lives. Father, we want to pray for those on this request list tonight who may not have the health we have tonight, or may have those that have passed away that they love. Father, for Scotty Yeaman, for Jennifer Maynard's mother, for Sean Fry, for Olivia Bush and her family, for Emerson Stockton, for Tommy Ray and all his family, Father, be with them. For Tina Gattenbein's father, for Miss Wendlyn Kittrell and her family, for all those who are sick, Father, in this school system, we just want to remember them and help them to get back their much wanted health. For Miss Esteline Dillahay, she's fell, Father, and any others that we know of, Father, we just want to pray that you'll be with them, and if it be your will, bring them back to their much wanted health. Father, we always want to pray for this school system. Before these meetings, pray, Father, that we always do the things that are best for the children in this system. Father, most of all this time, we want to thank you for Jesus. It's his name we offer this prayer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will start off the night with our consent items. Do we have a motion on our consent items?
Motion to approve consent items A through N. Sorry.
Through N. Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Move on to our superintendent actions. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at those. Be able to ask any questions they had about those. Now we will move on to new business A. This is a policy amendment 5.403, a drug-free workplace policy. Do we have a motion on new business A? Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Campbell, any discussion?
Yes. This is requiring a retraining annually, and it's up to y'all whether we retrain all of our employees annually, which is a 1-hour training, or if we
New hires.
just do new hires.
Yeah, according to the way I read this, just be trained one time and they don't have to train again.
Right, we have to certify.
It's just your new, you should certify it, and just your new hires will be trained, which I think would be better. I don't know if y'all read this or not, but I think it'd be better doing this than not having to retrain every year. Now,
That was,
It's less cumbersome than the law allows you to do it. That was a change in the law.
But it's up to y'all.
and that's the way that I took that's the way I read that. The way I took your motion was to do that one time and
Okay.
then be certified. Is that how everybody else understood?
Yes.
Any more discussion?
This is the first reading, right?
Yes, first reading. This is the first of 2 readings. If there's no more discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Move on to new business B. This is Policy Amendment 5.500, discrimination, harassment of employees, sexual, racial, ethnic, or religious. Do we have a motion on new business B?
I'll make a motion on new business B.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion?
All this is doing is changing the person's name.
That's-
Everything stays the same. We have to have a court.
Correct. It's changing to Miss Angel Williams from Miss Debbie Pilot till she is retired. Any more discussion?
I think Mr. Manning would have to amend his motion to include approval using policy 1.600.
Yes, I will. Because we're going to do this one reading. don't we?
Exactly.
Mr. Chairman, I want to amend my motion to use policy 1.600.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Moore, any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. New business C. It's a special education service agreement. Do we have a motion on new business C? And this is our yearly, and this is something we do yearly.
This is not the yearly, this is one, this is a specific kid that was written into the IEP.
That's correct.
I'll make-
That is correct. Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Campbell, any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. New business D is permission to host a football combine at SCHS. Do we have a motion on new business D?
Motion to approve new business D.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Move on to new business E. This is a bid approval for CCTV system at GES. Do we have a motion on new business E?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Manning,
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. New business F. This is a bid approval for CCTV system at SCMS. Do we have a motion on new business F?
So moved.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Gattenbein, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. New business G. This is a bid approval for one Type C 78 passenger school bus with Ms. Gotchkoff's recommendation without seat belts for $80,396. Do we have a motion on new business G?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Apple, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Campbell, any discussion?
Is the motion to accept her recommendation without seat?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I understood that.
That's what it says right
I figured you're the school bus, if there's any.
You know I will vote for this. I'm not a C-type bus driver. I'm a D-type. I think, I know. C's are less expensive. C's saves money.
I'm only putting them where I absolutely can.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. Roll call. Mr. Manning?
Abstain.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Move on to new business H. This is a bid approval for one Type D 78 passenger bus without seat belts for $89,841. Do we have a motion on new business H?
I'll make a motion to use that.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Gattenbein, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. New business I, a bid approval for gasoline and diesel fuel. Do we have a motion on new business I?
I'll make
Mr. Taylor, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Gattenbein, any discussion? If not, we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. Moving on to new business. Get to it here. New business J. This is approval of the hunting club at SCHS. We have a motion on new business J.
I make a motion to accept.
Mr. Apple, we have a second.
Second.
Ms. Moore, any discussion? And this was,
Sir.
this hunting club has been cleared.
Yes, sir. Well,
Okay.
assuming approval, we'll prepare a pretty significant release for them to hand out to interactive students.
Okay.
Covers as much as possible.
Sounds good. All, no more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. New business K. This is a request to purchase Chromebooks at GES. We have a motion on new business K.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Campbell. Any discussion? If not, this involves money, so we'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. Discussion A. This is the fuel bidding process, and I think Ms. Gotchkoff was
You
going
was
to.
out on the bus route the last time, and I wanted you to tell us why you want to stay with the current system versus going on to the prime, like we talked about.
Well, doing the long-term one, the companies in Nashville probably wouldn't get it anyways because they have to haul it farther. But what we have found is with the local company, which used to be Rankin or Nixon Oiler, A, I'm sending all 5 places, so they never know when they're the only bid, so I'm pretty sure she's competing and we're getting a decent price. But B, if we have issues with the tank or the pumps or Katrina, when we needed to get the tanks moved, the companies out of Nashville are not gonna come to Smith County for 60,000 gallons of diesel a year. Don Apple is right there. If the pipeline's been down 3 different times already this year for fixes and breaks, all I have to do is call him. He's like, send him to me. He will keep us running. Nashville will not. So if we send all of our business somewhere else, something happens and we run out, we're gonna sit here for a week and not be able to run buses because we can't get fuel because the pipeline busted somewhere. So I feel doing it this way, even though it takes a little more to bid every 4 weeks, that we're kind of getting the best of both worlds. I'm kind of ensuring we really are getting the bottom price, but we're doing it here with somebody that's gonna have our back when there's some type of emergency. That's my personal opinion.
Any other questions or discussions on that? We've been through it a couple times. I didn't know if anybody. If there's not, we'll move on to new business B. And this is acquisition of property. And I think this was kind of going to be. Go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Well, this is something that, you know, we had talked about before about we need to probably be talking about some property somewhere, probably around in the Lawrenceville area and stuff. And I just want to put this on glad it was on there, I was going to discuss this. I think the board needs to direct Mr. Smith to start looking and start inquiring about a piece of property on the south side of the county. Growth's coming. We've talked about this for weeks. 5, 10, 15, 20 years, who knows? It's coming. And I think, you know, they're not making no more land, and I think, you know, maybe we ought to just start looking around and seeing what maybe there's available or something. So I just want the board to give Mr. Smith the permission to start looking around.
I totally agree with that. I mean, we know it's coming at some point. How does everybody else feel?
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
We can direct him. I mean, we're not taking action. We can just
Yes.
direct Mr. Smith.
Sure.
Mr. Smith, we'd like you to look
And
into.
report back. next
Yeah,
month or-
report, and yeah,
If you've got some options next
Available
month, I mean,
if you
available.
come up with something in a month, report back to us next month and say,
If we actually got interested in a piece,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Winter, how would we do some type of agreement? We'd have to do a lot of different samples and so on before we could purchase it. Would be incurred at our expense, but
Yes, sir. If you found something you were interested in, you would then need permission to get engineering to look at it and make sure that it's suitable for what you want it for. Obviously, if you came to an agreement with somebody, you enter into a contract. If you found a piece that would work, you certainly have the right to condemn. Nobody particularly wants to do that, but you can certainly exercise that right. But if you had a few options, the first permission would be to have your board direct you to get an engineer and an architect to take a look at it and see if it was suitable and would work for what you want.
Does that need to be an agenda item, just in case, you know, obviously it could be taken off, but,
If you're gonna direct him to contract with an engineering company, it needs to be an agenda item.
it can be put on the next.
for
docket
March.
for March.
Sure.
Let's do that. Put it on as an agenda item next, and we can, if for some reason he doesn't find anything within the month, it has to go to, but hopefully he can.
Okay.
Everybody good? All right, we have our annual policy.
And Mr. Chairman, you would also, I mean, you're gonna need to decide what you're gonna do with the land, just acquiring the land for a specific purpose, so that should be your agenda item. You don't want to get the cart before the horse on it. You've
Right.
got to decide what you're gonna put on it before you can direct him what to,
You gotta have a plan.
gotta have a plan first. But,
Before we put it on the agenda item next month. Or
Well,
before he goes looking.
your agenda item should be what you're gonna do with it. Now, if he found some property, but you've got to decide what you're gonna do with it to know what kind of property that
Not
you need.
tonight.
No, you can't tonight. It's just a
Okay.
discussion.
So the agenda item actually needs to be what the plan is for the property,
Absolutely.
Yes.
and then, okay. I guess we were just assuming everybody would know, but we need to put that on as what we were gonna do with the property.
Just as a practical matter, what if that plan changed or evolved over time? What would be the process at that point to do something different if we decided to do that?
You do anything you want to, as long as you don't condemn the land, once you got it, you need to do something with it. That's
Sure.
what You're condemned for a specific purpose. You can change plans anywhere you want to, anytime you want to. It's only when you get down to purchasing property and writing in a check or condemn it, whichever, both, you got to pay for it either way. Then you gotta have a plan. You're gonna have, you know, whatever you're gonna do. You're gonna build new schools, new buildings, additions, whatever the plan is, I think you need to get the plan in place. And then decide where you're going. Because if you're gonna condemn, or acquire, or purchase, or negotiate, or however you wanna look at it.
Thank you.
And then-
Thank you.
And, this is what we've always done it for, if you've got, you know, there's 4, 5, 8, 10, there's property out there. It's just a matter of dollars and cents and acquisitions and all the above, and then you just gotta make a decision, that's all. The thing is location, where you gonna put it. That's the big ticket, always, deciding where you're gonna put something.
Exactly right.
Or what you're gonna put there.
And what you're gonna put there. So the agenda item needs to be what we're gonna do with it. And then we can go from there. Any more discussion? If not, we'll move on to our annual policy review for January. Did anybody have any questions on any policies from January? If not, do we have any need for executive session? No. Anything else need to come before the board? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Gattenbein. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.